Picture it, Los Angeles, 2025.
Oh, welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. Who am I? I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines.
I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we're doing a Beyond Golden Girls episode where we cover the many film and TV projects that the women did outside of the Golden Girls during the course of their illustrious careers. And today we are breaking down an episode of Betty White's Pet Set, which was a docuseries / talk show that aired from 1971 to 1972 and was recommended to us by GG VIP Club member Michelle.
We love you, Michelle, and we thank you so much.
I had no idea that this show existed.
Wait, you didn't know this existed?
No, I didn't know that this existed before Michelle said that we should do it.
I did. I've watched a little bit of it. I think Peacock put it on. It's on Peacock, everybody. Peacock put it on. That's one of my favorite names for a streaming service, by the way. Peacock. Let me see your Peacock. I think they put it on during COVID or something. I remember, and I watched a little bit of it. I will say, it's the pacing of it is very 1971.
Yes,
is very public access 1971.
Yes.
So you have to have patience. For modern viewers, you have to have patience when you watch the 22-minute episodes, because I did find myself at the 9-minute mark being like, has this been 22 minutes already? Because it just felt,
I did too. I
long.
paused about halfway through and I was like, oh, we're only halfway through. So the way this actually came about, so for Betty White's 99th birthday, she actually worked with the studio that produced the show to have it released on DVD and streamers because she loved it so much. She said, quote, in an article, if I haven't told you already, I will now. The Pet Set is one of my favorite shows. I'm thrilled it's going to be seen again after all these years. So this was like a birthday gift to Betty, was having this show released. You can tell that's how much she absolutely loved making it.
Yeah, I mean, you can also tell, I mean, it isn't much because this clearly, I'm sure even like copyright laws, this is pretty much like, just put it up wherever you want. Like, it's kind of, I mean, no one's fighting for this one. So I feel like Peacock was like, this is an easy gift we can give to Betty White. And I'm so glad they did, because we have some clips. Please watch this episode of Out on the Lanai, because or just go watch the episode on Peacock, because it is really fun, to see Betty White in hosting mode, but there are some like homemade style movies, clips that happen at the end of the episode that are just not only bonkers to watch, but just a joy to watch. And we're going to play some of them on this episode.
Yeah. It's great. And like you said, the pacing, it's very much like if you're into watching Bob Ross, something that's kind of slow paced, something that's kind of calming, definitely watch this. For anybody who hasn't seen the show, so in every episode, animal loving celebrities who were like friends of Betty, they would bring their pets onto the show to hang out with Betty. They would chat about their pets. Then there would be like a documentary segment on like the species that's showcased. So like today we're going to be watching an episode about poodles. And then it's like Betty out in the wild hanging out with wild animals. It's absolutely amazing. So
you know what also was interesting? Well, let's do Rusty Anchor, and then I'll say what is interesting about
this. The last thing I want to say about Pet Set. So the episode that we're watching today is season 1, episode 4, where she hangs out with Mary Tyler Moore.
I thought it was episode 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Episode 2, where she's hanging out with 2. Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah. I have pregnancy
brain.
Not
that it matters, because you could just see it in the
Not that
lineup.
It matters, but it's the Mary Tyler Moore episode, which was really, really fun. Of course.
Actually, and let me say the interesting thing about this, because what is interesting is this came out in 1971, and Betty White joined the Mary Tyler Moore show in 1973. And so you'll hear Betty White talk about like the Mary Tyler Moore show had just started, like literally just started when Mary is doing this episode on Pet Set. So like Betty is not on the series yet. They're not, I'm sure maybe there's talk, who knows, but like, it's just, she's not a character yet. Sue Ann Nivens, I don't think has even been thought of at this moment in history. And so it's really interesting to watch them communicate, because clearly they are just celebrity friends.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, because at one point, Betty talks about like, "Oh, I was, when I was at dinner at your house the other night." And
Mhm.
yeah, clearly they're friends. And yeah, it's really funny to listen to them talk about the Mary Tyler Moore Show, but not mention that Betty's on it because, like you said, she wasn't on it yet. So
Yeah.
it is kind of funny, and it's like, oh, it's like I'm looking into this moment in time before like this beautiful decision in television happened that Betty White joined the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Betty had a lot of guests on this show. I was
Uh,
thinking of maybe doing like snippets from a few episodes because Mr. Burt Reynolds was
yeah.
also on the show where he brought
Mhm.
his basset hound. But I was like, no, there's way too much great stuff with Mary Tyler Moore. So if you guys like this episode,
There's also a really funny dude. We have a clip of him at the end of the episode. Dale, not Dale, someone else, the other guy, and he is to quote to quote Blanche. He is ready to fly right out of here. I mean, this man with his poodles
oh
is
God,
just
there's so many characters in the name.
you
We'll
had
get
me
into it.
cut off the clip, but I let it go a little bit longer because I loved this man so much.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll get into it, but if you guys do like this episode, if you like the pet set, let us know because then we'll know to do more episodes in the future. I think they did like 32 or 39 episodes. So there are a lot of guest stars
Mhm.
on this show. It's also a show that was produced by not only Betty but her husband Alan Ludden. So this was like I feel like a passion project for them. But they
It is
had Carol
also
Burnett on the show. They had Doris Day, Jimmy Stewart, James Brolin, Bob Barker. You know he was telling
Mhm.
everybody to spay and neuter in that episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fully, fully, fully. And what's so interesting about I mean, what you guys know me, and I love the context of history around the things that we watch. And like one of the things that I think is fascinating for me about this is where Betty was in her career at this moment. You know what I mean? Like at this moment, Betty is just a veteran of television. She between 19 she had the show, she Date with the Angels, which was like a show she did in the like late 50s, and that she had a
In
lot of
Life with
episodes of that.
Elizabeth.
Life with Elizabeth was before that though. That came in
Hmm.
the mid 50s. So between 1960 and 1971 when this started, Betty wasn't doing much. Betty was just sort of like a Hollywood celebrity. She did an episode of Petticoat Junction, I think. She did a film, Advising Consent, of course. She did like other small things, but I think her credits in the 1960s, there's maybe like eight credits,
Mm.
which is for Betty White is very small.
Yeah, for Betty,
Because
that's yeah, not
she did
many.
8 things in a year in 2020 or whatever. So like she is busy. And so during this period, she is quite literally just a Hollywood celebrity personality. She's not known as the TV icon even that we know of her as today because
Hmm.
so many of the things that made her iconic on television haven't existed yet
Hmm.
when this thing was on television. And that to me is really, really fascinating in that you had, of course, her husband was a game show personality. She was a game show personality. So she was known as a personality,
Hmm.
but not really as an actor. And I think that's really fascinating as you watch this.
Yeah, you definitely get a sense of Betty White, the TV personality, watching this,
Yes.
not Betty White, the actor. And what you obviously get a sense of is Betty White, the animal lover. We'll show the clips
Well,
later, but this woman put her face way too close to giant wild cats that
I
like
mean,
I was
I was
so worried
so
for Betty in
worried.
those
I was
moments. I was
so
so
worried.
worried
I
watching them. I
kept
was like holding my breath.
Yes, there are so many moments where I'm like, "Betty, be careful," because we all saw that Chimp Crazy documentary on HBO Max. Remember that? Remember that one, Chimp Lady or whatever it was called?
I didn't watch it,
And
but I'm aware of it.
yeah, that one. Oh my god. Like, I just kept because there was a woman in that thing who had her face ripped off from a chimpanzee. So, like, I'm just saying, "Betty, be careful." And she wasn't
I
around a
didn't see that,
chimpanzee.
but I have seen Grizzly Man. So I've
Yeah.
seen,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
orcas have done stuff. Yeah, yeah. So we'll get into it. It was a really, really fun watch. Betty is so charming. Mary is so charming.
Yeah.
Um, I will mention what's in the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, and then I want to ask you about your Halloween.
Okay.
In the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour this week, well, first, how about I'm gonna throw it to you because this one
Yeah.
was your idea.
Yes. So my idea, I absolutely love and this kind of isn't a Halloween situation. I love the transition between Halloween and the holidays. To me, Halloween is not a holiday. It's a candy made up thing that isn't really exactly a holiday.
But
Whereas
you're saying it doesn't fall into when you say the holidays,
it's
it just
Halloween is
doesn't
not a
fall under that
part of the
umbrella.
holidays.
I
Halloween is its
agree.
own thing, and holidays is Thanksgiving, is Christmas, is Hanukkah, is New
Agreed.
Year's, is sort of that lump of
Yes.
things. And so I love the pivot to November, December, January holidays. And I am determined. I posted this on Instagram today because I posted a Will and Grace holiday themed sort of meme whatever carousel. And I am determined to be festive this year. I want festiveness in my life. I want to be festive. I want to be holiday festive. I want to be I want to be Rose Nyland festive for the holidays this year. I want to lean in to being festive. And so, in saying that, for the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, I want to have a discussion on how the girls would transition into the holidays. What would the girls be doing on November 3rd post Halloween in this
Mhm.
moment if they were to be getting ready for the holidays? And that's the discussion I want to have because I feel like there are very specific things that each one of them would do to prepare themselves for the holiday season.
Sure. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
down.
kind of like we're writing our own fan fiction, but we're saying it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
GG fiction, GG fan
Yeah.
fiction. Also over at the GG VIP Club, for those yet maybe who didn't listen to last week's episode or whatever, please check out our chat with Chef George Geary. We had a really great chat with him. He was the cheesecake chef on the Golden Girls. We had a really great chat with him on the main episode last week,
Hmm.
but then we also released some bonus content over at the GG VIP Club, which you can access at the $5 a month level. He told a really great story about one of the girls who he bonded with kind of later in life. He baked a cheesecake or he baked a cake
Hmm.
for one of the Golden Girls' birthdays. So he had a few more really, really wonderful stories. And he was just so great to have on the podcast. And I can't wait to try one of his cheesecakes someday. So
I know.
yeah. Yeah, he
We
was
need to make.
wonderful. So head on over to patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast. You can sign
Hmm.
up again for as little as $5 a month and you get so much great bonus content. You guys know. Just go over
Yeah.
there, check it out. You'll see all the great stuff you get. No commercials. That's a nice thing.
Yeah. None.
Okay. Halloween. This past weekend was Halloween weekend. Did you
Hmm.
do anything? Did you get up to anything?
Well, both Michael and I had very busy schedules this past week leading into Halloween. Michael, in particular, because he had been making outfits for people for Halloween. And so that's always a very stressful time. But for any drag queen slash designer person, Halloween is sort of like a holiday, if you will, for us. So we didn't end up doing anything. However, last minute decision, quite literally, at like 7:30 at night, we were like, let's go to Disneyland. And so we did
Wow.
exactly that on Halloween night. We went to Disneyland and we officially put to bed the Halloween season.
Hmm.
We had our Halloween treat at Disneyland. And then once we ate that
What was the
Halloween
treat?
treat, we went to Plaza Inn. I got my Cobb salad that I love at the Plaza Inn with a biscuit on the side.
Mm,
And we got these two pieces of cake. One was like a chocolate, like airy with whipped cream, sort of like it looked like a gravesite kind of cake. And the other one was like a the or the apple from Sleeping
hmm.
Beauty or whatever
Yeah.
like that. It was sort of a cake themed after that, and we ate that. So that was cute. We saw all that stuff, and then we transitioned into the holiday season, and
Mm.
I bought there was something that I've been looking for. I love A Christmas Carol. I love anything related to A Christmas Carol. It's one of my favorite stories in the world. I it's just such I mean, I'm a huge Charles Dickens person, and I particularly love Mickey's Christmas Carol and the Muppets Christmas Carol. Now I like the other
Classics.
I like film versions of them as well, but when it comes to like kiddie versions, Muppets and Mickey take the cake from me. It is the best. And they had, they had this year have released a plushy advent calendar of the Muppets Christmas Carol. Can I show you the box? Can I go get the box
Yes,
and show it to you?
please go get the
Please talk to our
box.
lovely listeners while I go get the box.
Okay. Hey, Challen is getting the box. I love, man, a last minute trip to Disney would stress me out because I'm such a planner. but HAlan and Michael go all the time, so I feel like they've kinda got it down. They've got it down pat at this point. HAlan is back with the box.
I'm
That's a
back with
big
the
box.
box. It's a
That's a big
big
box.
box. Now, of course, because I don't care about Christmas, I opened all of the advent days beforehand. But
Wow.
this is the box. If you're or if you're listening, just know you should be watching right now. This is the box, and it had I took them all out, but it had them all in there. But I brought some over to show you. So, oh my God. Okay, you ready for this?
Wow, this is like
This
Rusty Anchor happy hour content people are
Miss
getting. Oh, there's the Miss
Piggy,
Piggy.
Miss Piggy, and Kermit.
Oh, is that the Tiny
Oh
Tim
my
Kermit?
God. Oh no, this is the Tiny Tim
Oh,
Kermit
okay, there's the Tiny Tim.
with
That was
his
the Bob Cratchit.
with his little crutch. Oh,
Oh,
the way this made me happy. And at Disneyland, they have this like buffet sort of area, and they're doing a Mickey's Christmas Carol themed like character experience buffet. Can I tell
wow.
you, I cried. I cried. I
Oh,
cried at the announcement of it. It hasn't even happened yet. I'm so excited for it. So I'm sorry
I'm
for anyone
very
listening that
excited.
isn't a Disney person. I'm being very annoying right now.
Knowing how much of a Disney person you are, I think that's wonderful.
Yes. So
Wow.
how was your
Lovely.
Halloween? I loved
My
the
Halloween
costumes.
was great. So, yeah, little Oreo went dressed as Mickey. I'll hold up a picture because she was so, so cute. So yeah, she dressed as Mickey. Let's see. There she is.
Oh, so
She loved it. I
cute.
thought she was gonna, and you can see the Mickey head. That's
Yes.
really cute.
Yes.
So she loved it. So we went, me, her, and Stan's best friend, her Uncle Marty. We went trick or treating, and last year she went house to house. She was so proud and excited to say trick or treat to pick out her candy. This year she was a little bit more shy, which was fine, but she wanted me to say
Oh.
trick or treat. She wanted me to pick out all of her candy. And but she still said she had such a fun time. So that was great. So we had a lovely time, and then
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night, Stan and I went to a friend's Halloween party, which was so funny because it was November 1st. And we dressed as Juno and Polly Bleecker from Juno, and I had my
Yes.
big pregnant belly. And
Yes.
so that was fun. And yeah, now daylight savings, which if you don't have a child is lovely, but when you do have a child, they don't know the difference. And so
Yeah.
little Oreo was up at like 4:30 this morning. So I'm
Mm,
a bit tired.
I
But I'm
bet.
getting through it. And I'm also very winded. I'm so sorry. I'm just winded from
You're
sitting here. This is
pregnant. You're
pregnancy.
pregnant. You're
All of my
pregnant.
lungs are being squished.
Wait, when are you
Um,
due so that people can be counting down for you?
like around Christmas.
Around Christmas. Okay. So
Around Christmas
everyone
time.
have that in your brains. This is what
Yes.
we're celebrating this year. Sorry about
Yes,
if you had other
this is what
plans.
we're
This is our plan.
celebrating.
Yes.
So, but anyway, yeah, so we had a great Halloween and yeah, I'm excited to talk about the pet set now.
Me too. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's take a break and then jump right in.
Oh, oh.
And we are back talking about Betty White's pet set, her episode featuring Mary Tyler Moore. And I want to start just by, for anybody who hasn't seen the show, kind of painting a picture of what the set looks like.
Wait, before
Because
you
it
do that,
is,
can I
yeah,
play? I want to play a little bit of what the music in the intro kind of and then the interstitials that they had. I just want to
sure.
show the title card for what this thing looks like because to
Sure,
me
let's do it
it
because
was
that'll help paint
so
half the picture for
enjoyable.
me.
Yes. Okay, good. And I am obsessed. I'm obsessed.
Again, very like Bob Ross feeling, very like
Yes.
cheerful and
Yes.
calming.
Yes.
So the set is kind of like if a talk show took place on a farm because there's
Yeah.
like fake
Yes.
grass and these like white farm fences that are like create a pen and sometimes Betty will go in
Uh-huh.
with the pen. There's like green astroturf, but there's also green sofas for them to sit on.
You could
And
tell they
even
had very little budget.
yeah, I mean, like you said, it looks like a public access, like it looks like Mr. Terrific's set essentially.
Yes, it does.
And
It really
then there's
does.
so much green. And then in this episode, Betty, looking gorgeous, is wearing 2 shades of green, like, she looks like the gorgeous Jolly Green Giant with, like, her dark
It's
green and light
so
green
true.
suit.
It's so 70s. Her hair is up. Like, it's just, but yet at the same time, you hear the personality because Betty has a shtick. You know what I mean? Betty has a shtick that she does and the way in which she talks. It isn't quite horny Betty yet. That
Mhm.
does not exist in this world. This horny Betty has not been birthed yet. And so she is just sort of, and it's just it's really fun to watch because you feel like you're seeing, even though she had been in the business what for 20 some odd years at this point, more than that even. She and she's a pro at it, but she's a middle-aged woman at this point and happily married and is just a TV personality. And you see sort of her figuring out her public personality in a way. But yet she was also still hosting like the Macy's Day Parade. Like she was still doing those things.
She's very much a host, and also
Yeah.
this just feels so much like Betty hanging out with her friends, and again,
Yeah.
doing what she loves, which is, like, petting animals.
Yeah.
So, I wanna play, uh I wanna play the kind of first moment with Mary Tyler Moore, but before we play it, I just wanna say the names of the people and the animals on this show, I
Are
could not get
wild.
over. Every time
Yeah.
she says the name of an animal, it feels like a Tim Robinson sketch because they just get
Yes.
weirder and weirder.
Yes.
So,
I
let's
agree.
start with Mary, and we're gonna meet 2 of her dogs, one of which has a hilarious name.
You probably remember seeing this great cover on TV Guide. Well, right now, right here on the pet set, we have this very star as our very special guest. I'd like you to meet Dis William. Only brought a girl with him, Mary Tyler Moore.
Hello there.
And who is this?
This is young Maud. She's Dis William's sister, his adopted sister. She's not out of the same litter.
Well, you couldn't very well bring one without bringing both.
Absolutely not. They're inseparable.
Well, if you're all ready, we're all ready to start this meeting of the pets.
Do you think there's a real studio audience?
You know, I I think there is, but I actually had a note about it. I was like, they either need a better warm-up comedian or they need an applause sign because like there were moments where they're like starring Betty White and then there's like a really delayed applause or it's like a very weak
Yeah.
applause.
Yeah. This
Um
definitely doesn't feel like there's a studio audience at all to me.
I think there was. I think it was just small.
Oh, you think? Yeah, maybe they
I
like
think it was
amplified the
small.
applause. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a little
Because
small.
where are you going to get an
So,
audience for something like this? You know what I mean? Like this would be a
yeah.
weird show to find an audience for.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know where they filmed it. So it takes them like a few more minutes before they even address the fact that her dog's name is Dis William, which is like a
Yeah.
real like dis damn, you're no good at
Yes.
dis damn game. But that's
Mhm.
exactly where it comes from. It's so Mary eventually says like, "Oh yeah, I talked to my dog. His name was William and I talked to him in a baby voice and I go, 'This is such a cute dog. This William is so
Which
cute.'" And then she said Dis
which
William stuck.
there is nothing that annoys me more than a baby voice. Than a baby
Oh, you
voice
don't like a
for
little baby voice?
I can't stand it. It freaks me the fuck out. I had a coworker who used to talk to adults in a baby voice because she thought it was like cute. And
Well,
after a
that's
while,
inappropriate.
right? And I couldn't figure it. She also had an awkward laugh, and I'm kind of an asshole when people have awkward laughs because I don't understand it. And she would do something and then laugh, and I'd be like, "Well, it's funny,"
Can I
and
ask
I'd
you
make it
something?
weird.
How would you
Yeah,
talk to a baby?
I wouldn't do a baby voice.
Okay, so let's say I'm
I just
introducing you to my new baby. What do you say?
I probably my version of a baby voice is I go hi. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
I like if I see a child, I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" Like I'm not I don't get into the oh no, you don't
That's fine.
and I particularly hate it with animals.
Mhm.
I don't I because I think I get very disturbed by animal people. I'm an animal person, but I feel like there's a type of animal person. Let me just say, friend of the pod, Elliot Glazer, is kind of an annoying dog person. And I love it. And he does the thing. He does the thing where he'll like stop the conversation and make you look at his dog and be like, "Oh, see what he's doing? He's being cute." And I'm like, "We know he's a dog, Elliot. He's cute, and the default is cute." for this dog. So whatever he's doing is always going to be cute. Can we keep talking about The View? Because that's what we're discussing right now. I don't need
Sure.
to be distracted by your dog. So
Sure.
maybe I have issues, is what I'm
Maybe.
saying.
So Mary's dogs are poodles. So Dis William and Maud are both poodles. And I guess on the Mary Tyler Moore show, she actually had framed photos of her poodles in her office set because on the show they asked her, they were like, "Oh, do you want to put up like pictures of your family?" And she's like, "I will put up pictures of my dogs," which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
And Betty talks about also having poodles. So they had poodles. And
We had poodles growing up. We always had a
did you
poodle
have
growing up.
poodles?
Yeah, always. Because my mom thought because I was allergic to peanuts growing up, that meant I was allergic to everything. I wasn't. And so we always got poodles because they were hypoallergenic.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that makes sense. I didn't realize they're hypoallergenic. Good
Yeah.
to
I
know.
don't know if that's real. Like, I feel like hypoallergenic is sort of a made up thing, but whatever. That's another conversation.
It's interesting that you had a poodle. I never knew anybody with a poodle growing up. We never had a poodle growing up. But Betty says later in this episode that so at the time in 1971, the poodle was the most common dog in American households as a pet,
Oh,
followed by a
wow.
German shepherd, which to me I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
German shepherd." I knew a ton of people that had those. Never knew anybody
I
with a
would
poodle.
think, what's Lassie?
Hmm. Oh, is it a Lhasa Apso? Is that what Lassie is?
No.
No.
Was Lassie a
A
Lasso
collie,
Apso?
a
I thought
border collie?
maybe,
I
yeah.
don't
But also,
know.
like, I don't know dogs. Yeah, but
I don't know.
a poodle is a surprising, but I get it now. I see lots of poodles now.
I don't so like to me, all the poodles in this episode, again, I love animals. I love dogs, but to me, all the poodles in this episode with like their weird poofy haircuts, they all look like a woman named Dina in the 80s who like lived on Long Island and like owned a nail salon. I couldn't get that out of my head looking at every single
Come to
poodle.
Dina's nail salon. You get a free set if you say hello.
Yeah. But yeah, her poodles are cute. I know you're
Yeah,
a
they
cat
are.
person, but do you have like a favorite breed of dog?
I'm a dog person as well.
Yeah.
And if I had to choose, oh, a breed of dog. You know what? I have to say, Lhasa Apso. We have Colleen, a family friend, had a dog for years, Virgil, which I found with my friends. I think you maybe even met Virgil at some point. And he was a Lhasa Apso, just the cutest, sweetest, kindest little dog in the world. And so yeah, I would say probably that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
They're
know that I
cute.
have a favorite breed. I think like
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Elliot's
just
dog is a
like
Lhasa Apso too, I think. So like,
oh really?
I like Moses. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think I've
Moses
met
likes to
Moses.
hump me. Yeah, likes to hump me a lot.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? So,
True.
okay, so segment 1 was Betty meets Mary's poodles. Segment
Yeah.
2 is a dog psychologist
This
that we
dude,
meet.
Dale,
So, no.
Dale
Nope,
was
that's
wait,
not his
is it
name.
not
His name
Dale?
is a lot
Wait,
weirder. Didn't I say everybody has weird names? His name is
wait.
Dare. Dare Miller. His
Oh,
name is
I heard
Dare.
Dale. I heard Dale.
Nope.
Dare.
Dare.
Dare. Well, Dare?
I double
Dare was
dog
getting a
dare
little
you.
Dare was getting a little passive aggressive with Mary.
I I have thoughts about him. So the reason he is there is because apparently Dis William is a little bit of a troublemaker and he doesn't follow directions. So
He
Betty
jumps. He's a
introduces
jumper.
he's a jumper and he doesn't
Yeah.
listen and she says he's not house trained and he's I think a couple years old.
Which,
So
in a weird way, you're thinking Mary Tyler Moore, you're one of the most famous women in America. And yet you have not had your dog trained. Your dog is jumping around this set like it needs who's the pet whisperer dude who like had that
Caesar
reality
Milan.
show? Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you would think she would just go to a Caesar Milan type person and have this person. I guess that's why Dare's there.
Maybe
But
they weren't
like,
that common back then.
maybe,
This is
maybe.
1971.
Yeah.
So they all go into this like enclosed fenced in area where Dare is going to train the dog. So Dare's whole thing is like, he's like, I have this thing and it looks like a charm bracelet. And
It's like
he's like, yeah, it
yeah.
has like a tuning fork in it. And he's like, when I make a noise with this thing, your dog will listen. And it does. It works. Like Betty and Mary leave. Dare gets Dis
What is
William to
it? What's a
come to him.
tuning fork? What is a tuning fork?
A tuning fork. You hit it and it's like tuned, like, and you can
So
hear it
is
if
it
you put
like
it
a
up to your
thing?
ear.
Because they have that thing now, which I think is actually probably is like not good for animals. I don't know. People out there who know animals tell me differently. But there's like a clicker thing that it's a frequency that only dogs can hear, and it kind of stops them from like acting weird or barking or
Yeah, so
whatever it
this thing
is.
he says makes a sound that only it's a frequency that only dogs can hear. And
Isn't it
it
harmful to
does
like I've heard like
I
those the
have no
frequency
idea.
things like that it's not good for dogs. Please chime in, people, if you're listening.
I have absolutely no idea. But Betty and Mary leave, and then Dare gets Diswilliam to come to him every time he, like, again, I don't know, makes some kind of noise with this tiny charm bracelet, which is like, it's really impressive because it's like the owner's right over there. The dog's been jumping up on Mary the entire time, Diswilliam, and it's working for him. Dare is having a great time. He's crushing it on this cable access show. And then I think this is the moment you're talking about where he gets passive aggressive. So Mary and Betty
Yeah.
come back into the pen because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, Dare, your segment is over. And he
Mhm.
like will not let it go. He just wants to keep
No.
showing off and showing Mary and Betty
Yep.
what he can do. And
And
it's
he
so funny.
acknowledges how much the dog is misbehaving with Mary. And it's
Yes.
almost like, Dare, you need to know your place, Dare. You're
I
talking to
know
America's sweetheart.
Betty, I know Betty eventually is like, yes, Dare, thank you so much. It is time for us to move on. So it's such an awkward moment. I was like,
I
oh,
love
like I
it.
was like
I
flop
love
sweating
it.
while this guy was, oh, okay.
I love it. Let's play the clip.
That is amazing, dear. That is just amazing with the dog. Come on.
I would like, maybe while we're right here, maybe I can get him to lie down here.
Well, I think we've seen enough for right now to be amazed at the fact that a dog whose owner is outside and is completely oriented there comes right to you.
Maybe we can-
He also,
Let me try. Just sit.
all he's trying to do is see your face, because that's where you are with him.
Good boy, yes.
Thank you, Darren. You can see how well he's trained. He didn't do
Thank
a thing
you.
on the floor.
Right the whole time.
Dear, may we ask you to come back for future meetings and we'll take up one problem at a time?
Yes, there's barking, biting, digging, jumping.
Jumping?
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Dr. Dare Miller.
First off, I love Betty's subtle, well, Dare, we've seen enough. And then
Yeah.
at the end, Dare goes and jumping as if he like he's rubbing salt in the wound, embarrassing Mary because her dog
Because
jumps.
her dog will
Dis
not
jumps.
stop jumping and just wants to be picked up. Yeah. And it also feels like self-promotion. She's like, we'll have you back on. And he like almost like looks like down the lens of the camera and is like, yes, I can tackle anything with your dog from jumping
I want to watch more
you know.
episodes
Ugh.
to see if he comes back on because I want to meet Dare in an alley. And I'll show him my tuning fork.
I do. I want to see Dare go head to head with Burt Reynolds. Like that's what I want to see.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, that just it felt like I was watching an improv show that moment. So that is segment 2, which is dog psychologist and
Yeah.
Mary's dogs. So segment 3 is all
Wait.
the different types of poodles.
Yes. And the way, okay, yes. This, I was going to say we should take a break here, but we can't because we're getting to this guy. What's this guy's name?
This guy has a normal name. So this guy is Bill Logan. He owns a few different styles and sizes of poodles. And again, these dogs' names are fucking bonkers. And Betty says them so casually and never addresses these dogs' names.
Say the name.
No, I want to play it in the clip because just the way that Betty says them. It's in the clip.
Okay, here we go.
You are looking at international champion, please, por favor, as we're better known, and damn it, you should excuse the expression. And Mary, I'd like you to meet their owner, Bill Logan.
Hello, Bill.
Bill, we have about 5 minutes to find out as much as we can about poodles. And first of all, we want to establish that they're the #1 dog in the country by twice over the #2 dog, German Shepherds.
Yeah.
You happen to have both.
Right.
But why?
Because they're so intelligent, they're so adaptable, and they're so beautiful.
Okay, I made that. You had me cut that clip a little bit early. I kept on him saying what he said because if you're watching and like, oh my God, I hope you're watching. There's a moment where, and I have to do the impression. What does he say? He says they're cunning, they're whatever, and they're beautiful. Whatever he says. So he does this thing where when he says beautiful, he does this. Hold on, and they're beautiful. Like it just becomes this jaunty. If he had a little hat, he'd be tipping it. This jaunty little, and they're beautiful, Betty. I'm so glad to be here. Like it's just this man is ready to fly right out of here.
He was such a character.
He's such a dandy.
His dogs' names are Please and Damn It.
Damn it, please, damn it. His house has pink velvet on the walls.
I feel like he named them that way because he was always like, just because I feel like he doesn't have control over his dogs, right? So he's asking his
Yeah.
dogs to get down off the couch. And it's like, please, please get down off the couch. Please, please, damn it, get off the couch. Damn it, get off the couch. To the point where they thought that their names were please and damn it, just like
I
Dis
guarantee
William. And then he
you,
had to change them to please and damn it.
Mommy Dearest, the great Joan Crawford film, or about Joan Crawford, came out 10 years after this episode aired. However, I have a feeling was Bill his name? Bill's his
Yes,
name,
Bill
right?
Logan.
I have a feeling Bill probably had 3 dogs, one named Please, one named Damn It, and one named Barbara, so that he could yell in his queenie-ass voice, "Barbara, please, damn it!" Like, I just, and it's because there's a line, that's a line, "Barbara, please."
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Bill. I feel like I would have been friends with Bill. I feel like Bill in 15 years was at the gay bar in West Hollywood watching the Golden Girls. Like, Bill is a queen, and I love you, Bill.
Bill was hilarious. We had a similar situation where, so our dog, when Stan adopted him, his name was Scruffy. But he was a troublemaker. That was like his name from at the foster home. And our dog thought his name was Scruffy No, because the woman was always going, Scruffy No, because he was like always like shitting and pissing on her curtains and stuff. Scruffy No. So he thought his name was Scruffy No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, please and damn it. Those are amazing. So Bill,
wait,
here's
okay,
let's take a break and then we'll come back with everything we learn about poodles on this Golden Girls podcast.
God.
All right, everybody, buckle up, fasten your seatbelt, slut puppy. We're going to learn a lot about poodles. Here is what we learn. So one thing that he already said, which was, again, in 1971, the poodle was the number one most owned dog in America. Number 2, poodles are tracking dogs, just like bloodhounds. I didn't know this about poodles. Did you?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Well, I did not. 3, poodles come in a few sizes: king, miniature, toy, teacup, pocket.
Yeah.
Pocket poodle just sounds dirty to me. I don't know why.
You want to see my pocket poodle?
Want to see my pocket poodle? I know, right?
You want to pet my pocket poodle?
What did you get at the dirty toy store? I got a pocket poodle.
Pocket poodle.
We should play this clip on socials just with no context.
Oh, God.
4, the poodle's standard haircut is called the continental clip. That's with like the shaved butt and then the very furry chest and head. Right. And this is designed so that when
the way Bill, wait, I just have to say this. The way Bill is touching
the dog's butthole
butt, yes. and then just like lifting up to the tail so that the fluffy part. I mean, the way that Bill is getting so intimate with this little damn it, it's just I can't.
I almost had you pull this as a clip, but I was like, we'll have too many clips. I don't want to do that to HAlan.
It's too much. It's too much.
So you guys will have to watch the episode. He's trying to position the dog in a way that you would if it was like a show dog at a show.
Yes.
And he glides his hand up the dog's butt, just gliding right up its butthole to the tail. But I noticed that. I was like, oh boy, Bill. So the reason they had a shaved butt and then that big furry chest and head, it was designed so that when the dog was swimming in icy water, the front coat would keep the heart and the lungs warm from the cold, and the back legs were shaved to help it swim better and faster. I don't know why poodles are swimming in icy waters, but apparently they did.
Why?
I don't know. And then there are some, 5th thing I learned, there are some other cuts called lamb, Dutch, saddle, and they show off dogs with those cuts. So we see all the different sized poodles. We see all the different haircuts.
I'm just obsessed with Bill.
Yeah.
I want Bill to wash his hands, but I am obsessed with Bill.
Yeah, that caressing of the butt was just, there's also a funny moment when Bill's trying to get Damn It to lie down and Betty just goes, lie down, damn it. And it was actually really funny.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Betty knows. Betty knows exactly what she's doing.
Betty knows
She
what
knows
she's doing.
exactly
And
what
then
she's
that
doing.
segment
Yeah.
ends with her and Mary playing with these like 5-week-old poodle puppies, and it's just really, really sweet.
It's adorable. It is actually adorable. Like, you
So
can tell Mary is throughout this episode, Mary is just sort of like, what's going on? Like, Mary is a little bit like, I had you over to my house for dinner last night, and you told me to show up here today in makeup. So I'm here, but I don't quite know what's going on. But I brought my dogs, like you said.
like they were
So
just like at a dinner party, and Mary had like half a
I
bottle of wine
have
and
a
was like, "I'll do
feeling
your show. I'll be
that's
there. Just tell me."
I think that's Betty's MO. Maybe. I think all of her celebrity guests were just people she had over at dinner the night before and somehow convinced them to show up at the studio the next day in hair and makeup.
That's so funny. Well, the fourth segment is the scariest, and I
Is
titled this
but
one.
it also the best segment.
It is the best segment. I titled it "Dear God, Betty, please be safe around those giant wildcats." So I actually thought the transition to this segment was really, really great. Like
Yeah.
Betty shows so the end title card to the Mary Tyler Moore Show, it's kind of like the MGM lion, except it's a kitten and it's meowing. And Betty's like, the kitten's
Yes.
really adorable, but I have pitches for some other cats that you could show. And then it's her
Mhm.
showing Mary and the rest of the audience like clips of Betty getting, again, way too close to like massive, like 500-pound wildcats. She's like
Like a
kissing them on their
cougar or
faces.
wildcat, and then at the end, well, no, let's do so first it was like a wildcat. That was the first one she was like, and we have a clip of that. Actually, I pulled another clip too from this moment. But
Okay, so
but
yeah, there was a 500-pound Bengal tiger, a 550-pound 15-year-old lion that she brushes and she just puts her face right next to it. She lays down and the lion lays on her face. I truly thought, I was like, oh,
I
that
have
lion just crushed Betty White.
Betty Betty is fearless. Betty is fearless. Betty will do
I
anything
also
from reprimanding Dare on air to laying with a tiger. Like, Betty is fearless.
So before we watch this clip, the man who has Betty around all these wild animals, normal name, Ralph Helfer. So he's the owner of
Yeah.
Africa USA. And I just want you guys to notice at the start of this segment, he is standing so
Yeah.
uncomfortably close to Betty. Like
And
Betty and Mary are
it's
sitting on this bench
he's
and he's got
leaning
like
in.
one leg up on, he's leaning in
Yeah.
so
He's
close to
leaning
her.
in.
I was
And
like, what are
I don't
you?
know how well Mary knows this man, but it is like one of those moments where I would say, bubble. Like, it just bubble, like personal
If I
space.
were the
Like,
director, I'd be like, "We can widen the shot just a little bit, my man. Like
yeah.
you
Or
don't
maybe
have
you
to
could
be
all
so
just sit in
close."
a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why he
Yeah.
was sitting. It was very awkward, but I was like, "Oh God!" And then as he talks, he just gets even closer into her face. I
Just
was like,
gets even
"Give Betty some
closer.
space."
Yeah. But
So
Betty's letting a lion sit on her face, so maybe she doesn't care.
I know maybe she doesn't care. So in this clip, I forget what animal is it. Is it like the leopard or something?
It's the leopard. Yeah, she has the leopard in this
Okay,
one.
so yeah, so let's watch this clip of Betty. And I promise you, audience, she's okay. She lives through this. Obviously, we know that. But like, if your butthole also clenches upon watching this, you're not alone.
You don't have to take the first thing you see. No, maybe
have
she'd like.
something else.
Listen, would you like something in leopard?
Oh.
Yeah, try this. Now maybe this will work a little bit
Okay.
better for you. This is going to be at the very. No, not that.
There we go.
Not there. That'll give your show a lot of impact.
There's a
don't you think?
leopard. Yeah.
There's about 250 pounds of leopard and has strength of about 8 to 1 to man. And Betty, you're doing just fantastic.
Well,
I was
that's
just
real.
going to say, she's so brave.
No, it's not brave, but I got to tell you that working with a leopard, I've worked with a lot of animals, but I all of a sudden had deep respect. See how you look at the end of the show?
Oh, yeah.
And you just move differently. You keep your voice very high and your movements very kind of slow so that he doesn't think you're mad at him.
You were just fantastic with
And
him.
that's a fact. Well, maybe you're right, Mary. Maybe he is a little loose.
He's a little sloppy.
Yeah, I think
Kind
you-
of just
yeah.
hanging there.
Betty scares me in this moment. Betty is
It
having, again, I'm going back to that chimp documentary. I'm really fearful. I don't think this is safe.
I mean, this guy Ralph is like, oh, all these animals are affection trained, But, like, at the end of the day, they are still
They're
wild
wild
animals,
animals.
and they are
Yeah.
incredibly powerful and
Yes. Yes.
dangerous,
And
like
one snap of an animal, and that is just we've seen what happens. I mean,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I get it was a different time. I get, even animal treatment was different back then. But it's also really interesting because Betty is saying over and over, these animals are meant to be kept in a special situation. These are not animals to have. You should not buy these animals. You should not
Yes,
own
she
these
says they're
animals.
not
These
pets,
are
yes.
She's very clear that these are not pets. These are well trained, and so she's I think probably more forward than what a lot of people were in that regard
Mhm,
at the time, because she's being very clear.
mhm.
This isn't just for fun backyard pets. I don't own these pets. These are literally like specifically trained for this.
I also wanna point out, because I had to look this up for a script I was writing once, the animal laws in different states are wild, like,
Oh,
there are some
Missouri.
states
Missouri is one of
you
the
can
worst. I
own,
remember as a kid.
like,
Yep.
anything. Like,
And
sure, here,
Missouri is one of
you
those
can have a baby
states,
tiger. It's
which
crazy.
is why the chimp crazy lady was housed in Missouri, is because Missouri is one of those states that has very, very laxed animal laws that
Mhm.
you can own. And also, like, there's a puppy mill like problem there. There's all kinds of situations involved with Missouri that is very sad. Adopt your animals. That's first and foremost. Adopt, 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 adopt,
Yes.
adopt, adopt, adopt,
Adopt, don't
adopt.
shop. Isn't that what they say?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. And so
So
in this clip, so we have this leopard situation where Betty's getting a
uh-huh.
little too comfortable. She's like holding up the animal. She's
I
like,
know, she's
showing its
holding it
belly.
up, and, like,
She's doing all
I'm sure that, again, Betty was a very special person. She had a special bond with animals. I'm sure if it were you or I, we would have gotten eaten, but it wasn't, because Betty was like a giant cat whisperer, fine. But, like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
still.
Still. But what I will say, and this is illustrated in the second clip we have of this moment that I pulled of her with the lion, that even though it is very scary to see her with these crazy wild animals that are like massive and could easily eat her in like a snap, it is really fun to see. I think if you're looking to see Betty White being uniquely herself, there's no shtick, there's no this is just Betty White at play being Betty White. There's no
Yeah.
persona, there's nothing. In these home videos of seeing her with these animals, she's quite literally, I would argue, at her happiest. And so
It's very
let's
maternal.
play.
It's maternal Betty.
Yes. Yes, very, very maternal. Let's play the last clip that we have.
Now just think about this. At the end of your show, every Saturday night, you end the show, and there! Now that lower plate wobble, we can fix that. Don't let that bother you.
I'm the king of the forest.
Yeah, now, see, once you get it, you gotta get a straight shot at him. So,
Yeah.
oh, I don't mean shot at him. Well, he's got a nice shoulder block.
Yeah. Um Yeah, I feel uncomfortable with this, but yet I'm torn because, like I said, it is also really, really lovely to see Betty this happy, this joyful, you can tell she is just having the time of her life doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And so while it's terrifying to watch, it is really joyful too.
It is. It's equal parts terrifying and joyful, especially when that lion just rolled over on she was laying down next to it and it just rolled over on, like, her head. I was like, "Oh god. Oh god." But
But
she was fine.
also part of me is like, even lions fell for Betty White. Like, that's how
Mhm.
special Betty is that, like,
Mhm.
even lions are like, "Yeah, let's play." You know what I mean? And that is a really lovely, lovely thing to take from this. And, I mean, that is kind of the episode. She sort of ends the
Well,
episode after this.
she does, but first Ralph brings Betty and Mary 2 12-week-old Bengal tiger kittens to play with.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't want to have you pull too many clips, but it's so funny. The women are trying to talk, and these 2 little baby tigers will not stop growling, and they're so loud, like they're like,
Mhm.
ah, ah, and that's all you can hear while they're trying to talk. So that's also
It
a
is
really
so
funny
cable
moment.
access, and I
It is
love it.
so cable access. And then Betty ends the episode with a quote from George Bernard Shaw, or shall I say George Bernard Slaw, for all the Barbara Thorndike fans out there. She says, If a man wants to murder a tiger, he calls it sport. If the tiger wants to murder the man, he calls it ferocity. And I was like, okay,
This is how
Betty.
you can tell. This is how you can tell there was no studio audience, because after she said that, she was like, think about that. And there was like no reaction. And it was just sort of
Yeah.
like just silence in the studio. And it's just like, okay, you just played with a lion and now you're talking about getting ate.
Yeah.
My eyes are going in
It was
lots of
that quiet.
directions.
But yeah, that was the
It's that
episode.
quiet.
And the
Yeah.
show, again, it was so charming. And I hope if people if you listeners like this, we'll do more in the future. But
Listen, go
yeah.
put this on in the background. It's just like hours of just Betty having fun with animals. And honestly,
Yeah.
is there anything better than that
Yeah.
other than the Golden Girls? No.
Yeah.
So much fun. Well, should we take a break and come back with our golden takeaways?
We shall.
Okay, bye. And we are back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your lives or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, what's your golden takeaway from this episode?
Mine's kind of simple. It's just life's too short. Do what you love. And it's like Betty clearly loved animals. Sounds like this is one of her favorite projects to work on. The show may not have been for everybody. It maybe didn't have like a huge audience, like her game shows or eventually like Mary Tyler Moore, the Golden Girls had. But it's like this was a passion project for her and her husband that they did. So I'm like, do those things. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, my golden takeaway from this episode is something that I've been hearing people talk about for a while, and I really, really want to see happen. Is I love Betty White with animals, of course, and watching Betty White with animals, and she was such an animal lover and she was such an advocate for the Los Angeles Zoo, the San Diego Zoo, that I'm just waiting for the Los Angeles Zoo to be called the Betty White Zoo. That's what I want. I want them to
I would love
rename
that.
the Los Angeles Zoo in honor of Betty White. I think it would be, she was one of the biggest advocates for the zoo and how they treated the animals there. And like, I would just love for it to be renamed in Betty's honor, because I feel like we need, for generations to come, even 100 years from now, when they don't maybe know who the Golden Girls are, Betty White, that they're going to be like, oh, Betty White. Maybe they'll look into her a little bit of who she is, and they'll find this random thing on Peacock, and if Peacock's still around then. And yeah, you know what I mean? I would love that. I would love it. I would love it.
So great. And very quickly, I think that's a really great golden takeaway. And it does remind me of the time. So do you know at LAX, the international part, it's the Tom Bradley International Airport.
Yes.
So this is an example of like, oh, you see a thing and you're like, oh, who's that? So for the longest time, I don't know why. Every time I saw that sign, I thought it said the Tom Brady International Airport, as in Tom Brady, former quarterback of the Patriots.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like,
Oh, Lord.
why? I could never figure out why they named it after Tom Brady. And one of the, someday, one of these, Stan and I were driving through the airport. And I said, why is the international terminal named after Tom Brady? And he's like, are you joking? And I was like, no, I'm serious. And he's like, do you know how to read? Anyway, I still don't know who Tom Bradley is, but it's not
Tom
named
Bradley
after Tom Brady.
Tom Bradley is a former mayor of Los Angeles, the first African-American mayor of Los Angeles. I believe he was mayor from the 70s until like the early 90s. Like, he was mayor for a long time. And that is
Perfect.
Tom Bradley.
See, exactly. I've never even stopped to Google it. This is
He's
how
also
we can
a former
all learn.
athlete too, I think. I think he was like, a Democrat. I think he was like, he played some sport. I don't remember that detail, but he's big. He's big.
Okay, we'll see there. And so that's how people 100 years from now will learn how Betty White is that somebody will go,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, everyone, like I said, I've been up since 4:30. This has been another episode of Out on the Lanai. We will catch you back here next week for more Golden Girls greatness.
Oh, my God. And remember that we are part of Mom Moguls of Media. So go over and support the mommy situation, the ways in which you do. And you can also follow us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, Out on the Lanai Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook, and I am HAlanScott /Sadie Pines on everything.
And I'm Squid Eat Squid on Twitter and Squidsy on Instagram. And remember, you can join the GGVIP Club over at our Patreon at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast. And another fun thing that you can do is leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, because it helps more people discover our podcast and join our lovely kick-ass community of Golden Girls fans.
And remember,
As always,
stay golden! And don't fuck with me, Dare. Because if you come for Mary Dare, I will ruin you. I will ruin you. Bill and I will come after you, Dare, with his damn it.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.